Have you ever wondered how a country makes sure its university graduates have the skills they actually need for the future? Well, I can tell you it doesn't happen by accident. It happens by design. There's a whole blueprint behind it, a massive framework built to turn a big national vision into real, tangible skills, one student at a time. So how does this whole thing actually work? Let's break it down.
It all starts right here with this incredibly powerful statement from the National Education Philosophy. Now, this isn't just some nice-sounding phrase on a plaque, it's the absolute North Star for the entire education system. The goal isn't just about creating smart people. It's about shaping well-rounded, ethical, and entrepreneurial citizens who are ready to build the nation's future.
And that really is the million-dollar question, isn't it? I mean, how do you take a philosophy that's this grand and make it work for an engineering degree, a business program, and a fine arts course? How do you make sure every single piece of the puzzle is pointing in the same direction?
Well, the answer is a huge shift in thinking. Instead of starting with a textbook and just hoping for the best, the entire system is built on a simple, game-changing idea. You begin with the end in mind. You start by defining exactly what a graduate needs to be able to do. This whole approach is called outcome-based education, or OBE for short, and it puts the student's final abilities right at the heart of everything.
Okay, so to make this work across an entire country, you need more than just one good idea. You need a framework with layers, kind of like an architect's plan for a skyscraper. You've got the high-level vision, the structural supports, and then the nitty-gritty methods to build it all. Let's start at the very top. So at the highest level, you have the Malaysia Education Blueprint. This is the document that sets the national vision. It answers the big question, what kind of talent does our nation need? It's where you'll find all that talk about producing holistic, entrepreneurial, and balanced graduates. This is the ultimate why behind the whole system.
Next up, you need the structure, the steel beams of the whole operation. That's the Malaysian Qualifications Framework, or MQF. Think of this as the master rulebook. It defines every single qualification, from a certificate all the way up to a PhD. It's what ensures that a degree from one university meets the exact same core standards as a degree from any other university in the country.
And finally, we get to the engine that actually drives everything. So if the blueprint is the why and the MQF is the what, then outcome-based education is the how. It's the practical, hands-on, student-focused method that universities use to bring that grand vision to life right there in the classroom.
So, let's pop the hood on this OBE engine and see how it really runs. It all works on a really clear hierarchy, like a waterfall of goals that connects a big, long-term career vision all the way down to what you learn in a single one-hour lecture. It's all about having crystal clear, measurable goals.
It all starts with the big picture, way out in the future. These are the Program Educational Objectives, or PEOs. Now, these aren't about what you learn in university. They're about what you become a few years after you graduate. What kind of professional are you going to be in 5 years? A leader? An innovator? PEOs set that long-range target.
Okay, so if that's the 5-year goal, how do you make sure someone is ready to hit the ground running on graduation day? That's the job of the Program Learning Outcomes, or PLOs. These are the specific, provable skills a student has the second they get their degree. And it covers everything, from deep technical knowledge to communication, teamwork, and ethics. And how do you build up those big program-level skills? Well, you do it one course at a time. Every single class has its own set of course learning outcomes, or CLOs. You can think of these as the fundamental building blocks. A CLO could be something like analyze a complex data set or deliver a persuasive team presentation. Each one is a small, crucial step toward the bigger PLOs.
So you can see this beautiful logic, right? The long-term career goals in the PEOs tell you what skills are needed at graduation. Those are the PLOs. And those PLOs then tell you exactly what skills need to be mastered in each individual course, the CLOs. It's a perfectly aligned cascade, flowing all the way from a future career right down into today's classroom.
So knowing the outcomes you want is one thing, but how do you actually design a course to make sure students get there? That's where this really clever idea called constructive alignment comes into play, and it's all built on a simple but powerful backward process. This is what we call backward design. You don't start by planning your lectures. Nope. You start at the finish line with the skill you want the student to have. Then you figure out how you're going to test for that skill. And only then do you plan the lectures, the labs, and the discussions that will get them ready for that test.
For students, this is huge. It means everything you do in class has a direct and obvious purpose.
And here's what that looks like in the real world. Just look at that first row. The goal, the CLO, is to analyze complex problems. So the teaching method isn't a passive lecture, it's an active case study analysis. And the assessment? It's not a simple quiz, it's a project report. You see, every single piece is connected. There's no busy work. Every task is designed to build a specific skill.
Now, this intense focus on specific outcomes completely changes the philosophy of assessment. It's no longer about ranking students against each other. Instead, it's all about measuring one thing. Did each individual student master the required skills?
So the OBE system uses what's called criterion-referenced assessment. The best way to think about it is like a driving test. When you take your test, the goal is just to prove you can operate a car safely based on a clear set of criteria. It doesn't matter if you're the best or the worst driver that day. If you meet the standard, you pass. This is the exact opposite of grading on a curve, where your grade is all about how you did compared to everyone else. In OBE, every single student can earn an A if they prove they've mastered the outcomes. And of course, because the learning outcomes cover this huge range of skills, not just memorization, but practical skills, teamwork, communication, ethics, you need a whole toolbox of different assessment methods, right? You can't measure teamwork with a multiple-choice test. So the system uses everything from projects and lab reports to presentations and portfolios to get a true 360-degree view of what a student can actually do.
But here's what makes this system truly dynamic. It isn't static. It's not set in stone. It is designed from the ground up to constantly learn, adapt, and improve itself through a built-in feedback loop.
This is all done through what's called the Continual Quality Improvement Cycle, or CQI. It's a simple but powerful loop. First, you plan. Then you do it. You run the program. Then, crucially, you check the results. Are students mastering the skills? Are graduates succeeding? And based on what you find, you act, making smart changes to improve the program for the next batch of students. It never stops getting better. And that check phase is incredibly comprehensive. We're not just talking about internal reviews. The system is designed to get feedback from absolutely everybody. What do current students think? What do alumni say about how prepared they were for the real world? And maybe most importantly, what do employers and industry partners say? This 360-degree review makes sure that what's being taught stays relevant and valuable.
So when you see it all laid out, from that huge national philosophy all the way down to a single assignment, you realize it's a living system. It's a blueprint designed not just to educate, but to constantly get better at educating. Which leaves us with a really exciting question to think about. As the system keeps evolving and improving, what incredible new skills will the graduate of tomorrow bring to the world?